We've got big news to report in the form of new documents we obtained as a result of a Judicial Watch Freedom of Information Act lawsuit. This one, we were asking about Andrew McCabe's conflict of interest documents. Who's Andrew McCabe? Well, he was a senior FBI official. In fact, for a period of time between the time that Comey was fired and FBI Director Wray was appointed, he was the acting FBI director. So a very senior guy in the FBI, but a compromised person by all accounts, because his wife, when she was running for office in Virginia, received about $700,000 from Governor Terry McAuliffe's political operation. And who's Terry McAuliffe? He's a Clinton crony. He's about as trustworthy as Hillary Clinton is on matters of ethics and following the rules. People want to know why it is that Mr. McCabe, who was so beholden as a result, evidently, of his wife's significant intake of money from McAuliffe, was anywhere near the Clinton investigation. Well, the news is that McCabe, despite all the concerns, didn't recuse himself until November 1st of last year, just a week before the election. If that doesn't show that the FBI investigation was compromised into Hillary Clinton's email practices, I don't know what will. He just waited until after everything was done, practically speaking, before he recused himself on the issue. What a development. The FBI is a mess. Mr. McCabe is still there. Let me go into the details. So in March of 2015, his wife began her campaign. And so what the documents show, by the way, we had to sue for these documents. We started asking for them in October of last year. And it took a federal lawsuit in about a year to get them. So it shows you why they were hiding it, because you're going to see the details are pretty extraordinary. So the thinking was that he might have to recuse himself for matters related to Virginia. All well and good. But the matters related to Virginia, he was only recusing himself for during his wife's campaign, which ended in November of 2015. Now, why is that important? Because Terry McAuliffe was also under criminal investigation by the FBI during that time period. So after November, he could be involved in the McAuliffe investigation? How does that work? Only in D.C. would ethics allow you to do that type of activity. So these are what the documents confirm. That's the case. The documents also confirm he was never recused from the Hillary Clinton investigation. The documents confirm he was never recused from the Hillary Clinton investigation. He may have been recused from the McAuliffe investigation for a period of time, Hillary Clinton's crony, but not from the Clinton investigation. Now, again, it would be difficult to overstate the connections and the closeness between McAuliffe and the Clinton gang, but Mr. McCabe saw no problem with being involved in this. And what was his involvement? Now, we received the talking points from the FBI. These talking points were unredacted, unlike the Clinton Lynch Tarmac records talking points the Justice Department gave us. And the redactions, the talking points say that he didn't have to recuse himself. Well, he wasn't involved in the Clinton investigation only to the extent, while he was at the Washington field office of the FBI, he made resources available. But they say he wasn't told what the resources were for. They don't say he didn't know what the resources were for. And of course, come in January or early 2016, he became a senior official in the FBI and basically oversaw the Clinton email investigation. So he receives $500,000, his wife receives $700,000 from Hillary Clinton's friend, and he's still involved. Now, when people were complaining about this, we were told, oh, there's no problem. He didn't need to recuse himself, and what are you talking about? And this is what's extraordinary. In November, and the documents show on November 1st of last year, he did recuse himself, which raises the question, why didn't he do it earlier? And if he should have done it earlier, it means, again, it's just further indication, because there's all sorts of other information, that the entire FBI investigation was a sham and compromised. The president needs to direct the Justice Department to restart the Clinton investigations. Redo them. Have honest folks come in, or people who the American people will have confidence can fairly administer justice and fairly investigate this, to figure out what went on. And on top of that, they need a clean house at the FBI and Justice Department. Because if this is the ethical norm at the FBI, that's a disaster. It's a disaster for the FBI to the degree it has credibility, and it's a disaster for the American people, which needs a law enforcement operation that is honest. And once again, Judicial Watch got these documents. It wasn't the liberal media. It wasn't Congress. It was Judicial Watch going to court. Now, this is only one of, I think, 4 lawsuits we have about what McCabe was up to in the FBI. By the way, Mr. McCabe is still there as the number 2 under President Trump's new appointee, FBI Director Wray, W-R-A-Y. So there's still more information coming. What else is going to pop up? Someone needs to take a look at the way the FBI is being run, and we should reflect on the fact that, again, Wray was Comey's guy. And essentially the leadership of the FBI still, even though there's a Trump appointee running it, is our holdovers from the last regime. And we need the clean house, not just at the director level. Presumably Wray is better than Comey, I don't know. But certainly it's the entire leadership of the FBI that we need to rethink. So this is why this is a rule of law crisis. We've got evidence that the FBI investigation into Hillary Clinton was compromised 6 ways to Sunday. The latest being the fact that after the damage was done, the guy everyone thought shouldn't have been involved said, "Well, I'm not going to be involved anymore," just before the election. And I'm sure the thinking was, Hillary's going to win, so my job is done. That's the conclusion I draw.